And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to, for the first time in our entire history here on the CranKy Ducklings, for the first time we are here with ESL Open Cup Europe number 206. And I can't believe we ended up in the same place. I literally burst out laughing. So those wondering, we have our first series here. It is going to be a PvT, and while the lobby was being made when we joined, Wardy is also casting. He's the only other English caster. There's two casters today. There's ourselves and Wardy, and he also jumped into the lobby as well. So that's a bit of a shame. I was hoping we would be split up, and I was hoping we would go for some like split series, but apparently not. Regardless, we're getting into this and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura. We have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing himself from my understanding. He is usually a caster and a good friend. It is Indy. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Maralekos or Maral Esports. It is NoMercy. First time live, second time ever. Here we go, as we are going for a bit of an eBay block, and yeah, I just can't believe that I guess independently we both went for, like, we both eyed up the bracket and we both went for the same series. Like, I mean, yeah, there you go. I mean, you know, I can't fault Wardy's taste. Like, this was the juiciest series to kick things off. So yeah, we just both happened to be drawn to it. Let's go. Let us go. As for the time being, we are going for an eBay block here on the low ground. Is going to be forcing the unnatural out of Indy. So yeah, he's gonna be forced into an uncomfortable position here in the early game, as NoMercy is going for a Rax expand. Interesting. So despite forcing a bit of an awkward base to be taken, NoMercy isn't really taking advantage of it. He's not going for a faster factory, he's still going for a CC. So interesting choice here from our Terran player, from our German Terran. As we should maybe even introduce the players a little bit. So getting into this, of course, Indy, you know, good friend, you know, he's a fellow caster. We have covered many Polish events in the past, but I've never casted him. I've never casted Indy before, and he's apparently a pretty damn good player. Like, I was like looking at his profile, I was like, oh my god, like this is actually a pretty close one. So I'm very excited to feature Indy for the first time. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, or the other side of the map of Golden Aura, we have NoMercy. NoMercy, of course, we have casted him many times. We are big fans of NoMercy here on the channel. We've covered him many times in OSC events like OSC King of the Hill, as well as Sparkling Tuna Cup and some other online tournaments. NoMercy was one of the Senthex boys. It was NoMercy, it was Soon, and Shark Ripper, the triple trio of Terran in Germany. Since then, Senthex has disbanded, and unfortunately we have a little bit less we don't really have Soon or Shark Ripper being as active as they once were, but NoMercy, he's still of course competing, is supported by shout out to Maralekos. This is his team. Maralekos, for those who are unaware, he's a German caster, also a good friend of the channel. Maralekos. So really cool. I didn't know that he had a pro team. I didn't know that he was funding players, but it makes sense because he's a German caster. He's supporting the German scene. As the Reaper gets in, does kill one of those pros, but is going to pay for it with his life. Did get a full scout though, did get eyes on the Stargate opener. I'm concerned for Indy. I'm concerned. It's going to be a Stargate opener. He's in the dark as what's going on, and what is going on is Concussive Shell Marauders is a 3-Rax build here by NoMercy. If I remember correctly, I believe he does pull the boys in TVP, so we'll see if he commits to a 2-base all-in. Regardless, a 3-Rax is very potent. It's a very terrifying bio build here from our Terran player. Is going to be going Stim, Combat Shields +1. This is going to be confirmed here by Indy, but he's going to have to start reacting back at home. We're going to need some shield batteries, maybe a defensive robo, additional gateways. We're going to have a lot of Marines and Marauders barreling down across the map, and Phoenixes will not help here in the defense, or very limited help in the defense. So there it is, immediately robo as well as additional gateways. The goal here is to slow down the push and to get eyes on the push, maybe even force out a Stim. As we still have to wait a little bit longer. It's still a couple of seconds away until we do kick in with Stim and Combat Shields, so Indy, he has time to prepare. With that time, he's getting one shield battery, second shield battery here at the natural base location, so we can kind of pull back to this natural for a second kind of outpost here, a second defensive line. Phoenix is doing what they can. They do pick up an SCV, very nicely done. A couple of it, 3 SCVs in total, not too bad. Again, just trying to slow down the army, maybe force a stim. That stim is finishing in a couple of seconds. Dude, chat, Uthermo versus Epic is super juicy. I mean, I'm more interested in NoMercy and Indy. Like, the boys. I guess we have more personal ties with them here in the CranKy Ducklings. So we are going to be threatening Shades area across the map. We're still just amassing our army. We have Immortal on the way. Here comes the push from NoMercy. Moving out with his Marines, with his Marauders. As we are going to be getting an eye on the ESL Open Cup logo. Beautiful. As we do push out across the map, and here, are we ready for this, by the way? We have sentries from force fields, we have a bit of a supply block, unfortunately. NoMercy is going to bypass this ramp here, going around the long way towards that natural, but we should have more than enough. Honestly, even without the sentries, even without the force fields, we should be able to deal with this. With the force fields, I mean, mate, no shot. We can just slice up this army, cut it in half, and shut it down. Third base is on the way, Robotics to Bay as well. And thankfully, NoMercy doesn't commit. Again, Indy, he was able to scout this ahead of time. He was able to react, able to respond. And NoMercy respects that position. So he will retreat back home and live to fight another day. Third CC's in production. We're getting into our 5-1-1 setup here. 5 Raxes, 1 factory, 1 starport. So NoMercy, again, he's just working on that follow-up push on that next transition. Indy, likewise, has survived and is getting into his own third base. Now, this third is delayed. This third straight up, it is late, it is delayed here because we were hyper-fixated on surviving and defending. As a result, some inadvertent damage was dealt here to Indy. But regardless, like, he is still working on his third base and working towards his eventual Colossus production. I wouldn't be opposed to, I was going to say double robo production, but we don't actually have the economy for double robo because we're still on 2 bases. And eventually we'll get there. We'll get there. Peaks as they get across the map, they're going to be able to chip away at that CC. They do get eyes on the timing on the third base. Big scout here for Indy, as he does rotate towards that main base. But we do have turrets in position. Despite that, we still find a little bit of damage. Very nice positioning. We managed to get all the gas mining workers for SCVs go down. Indy not looking too bad, but here we go. We are going to be committing here. I believe the Observer did spot the move out. And Indy, for the most part, in position. He's still working on charge. Phoenixes are not quite back at home to deal with these medevacs and deal with the drop play. But when it comes to the push, again, Indy, he's in a pretty damn good place. Oh, the mines! Ooh. But the mine shots go off. 1 Phoenix goes down. Big connection as Indy is taking a 4th base. And what I refer to is that specifically on this map on Golden Aura, these bases are very congested. They're very close together. As a result, we can actually defend and maneuver between these bases quite easily here. So Indy, as long as he stations himself in between, you know, in this crossroad here between his natural, his 3rd, and his 4th, he should be able to react in time. Drop is going to be coming in. Indy's going to be responding. But again, the goal here for NoMercy is to try to pull the attention of Indy here towards the right-hand side and then come in towards the left. And he's going to be spotted. There's an adept. Indy barely does spot the army, but does he have the numbers to defend? He cleans up the first drop, but here comes the main push. Diving on top of the Nexus. There's 1 Colossus in position, but it's not going to be enough. The overcharge doesn't save the base. And the Nexus goes down. Big. We go for the Colossus. We go for the dive. The Colossus falls as well. We go for the Robo, and Indy just caught with his pants down, not in position, distracted by the double drop, and the main push did punish him. We could even dive on the Colossus once again, but we're going to stim the hell out of here. NoMercy, content with the damage that he has dealt. That 1 adept somehow survives. But Indy gets knocked down a peg, gets knocked down a base. He's going to try to expand elsewhere here on the right-hand side. Expand on the right, taking his gases, saturating his bases, and working towards extend thermal lance. That is going to be a backup and a 2nd robo on the way. Remember, Indy did lose a robo, and that was a huge pickoff. That means that Indy is stuck on 1 Colossus. There's a massive window available where NoMercy can try to counterattack and hit Indy before he rebuilds his Colossus count. Indy, he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble right now. He's still just trying to saturate his bases, trying to get a 4th base back up and running, and NoMercy is amassing a massive bio army. Looking at the units lost tab again, he's barely lost anything. The Marines that died in this units lost tab, they're from the double drop. They're from the drop that was a distraction. He's been so careful with his main army. Observer does spot the positioning here as well. Indy is aware that if there were an attack, it would be here at this 3rd base. And here we go. NoMercy is pushing. This time with 1-1, +2 is on the horizon. And Indy, can we hold on? Can we survive? I do think we can if we have really good force fields. Force fields are kind of the saving grace here in a way, but we're not quite in the best kind of position here for Indy. NoMercy coming in from the right-hand side. He's looking for that dive. At the same time, coming in from behind as well. Phoenixes do dive in. They went straight for the medevacs. Nova goes off. Oh, only shaves, only grazes the army. Yeah, a couple of Marines go down. Nova's going to be going off. They take down at least one of those Widow Mines. Stefan NoMercy taking this slow and steady. He's got a 4CC on the way behind this. We do have a bit of a Zealot run by, but we should be able to clean this up. Again, not a big commitment from Indy. 4CC on the way. Ghost Academy is done. Ghosts are in production. We do have EMPs available. Still not finding a way in. We now have 2 Disruptors. We're making 2 Colossi at a time. And that window that was available is closing. NoMercy, he had an opportunity. He could have either committed here into a dive or gone towards the 4th base. He's rotating around. He is spotted by the Observer. Indy, he sees, he knows. Scan reveals it. The Disruptors. The Novas. Oh god! The Novas will connect. Good connection here from Indy. NoMercy going to be rotating over towards the right-hand side. He's still committed here to pushing up towards this 3rd. Still refusing to pivot away. But now we are up to 3 Colossi, 2 Disruptors as well. We have the Shield Battery, we have the Overcharge. Still Delicate Dance Service go off 2 of them at the same time. Oh, they both get wasted. Oh no, the Miss Rally. Colossus takes a lot of hits. They'll take a lot of hits to the face, but we're up to 4 Colossi. We may not need the Disruptors. This Colossus needs to calm down. We need to calm things down, papi. Ay. Meanwhile, NoMercy getting his 4th up and running. We're picking up, we're going for a Doom Drop into the main. Phoenixes, they're getting in position. But too little too late. We get the unload. Widow Mine's going to be going off. We unload into the main base. We can threaten some of these gateways. Maybe the bay? We recall back into the main. We're going for the Phoenixes. We're going to have to pick up at the same time. We're pushing towards that base. Vikings are doing what they can. Phoenixes are distracted. And the drop does escape. Does evacuate at the same time. Can we focus down this Nexus? The Overcharge. Try to keep it alive. And it's... is it going to be enough? Is it enough? It's enough. The base will live. Just barely on 9 HP. The mines. Oh, massive connections. 2 Colossi go down. The mines do go off the Nova. Oh my god. Novas, they're going to be cleaning them up. NoMercy trying to escape. Oh, bleeding out a lot of medevacs. And Indy, he's breaking through. He shuts down the army and he can go for a big counterattack. Now is the time. Send it, papi. Send it. We need to send it, as we are going to be pushing out down to 1 Phoenix, 3 Colossi, 2 Disruptors. 5th base soon to be taken, but there's no anchor point here. There's no tanks. There's a handful of Widow Mines, a handful of Vikings. Not going to be enough. We do get on top of that CC. Novas, they could go off towards the middle line, towards the main army. Oh, they go off. Ooh, take down the Widow Mines. Mindshot's going to be going. A lot of Zealots are going to be going down here, but again, good connections from Indy. And he denies the base, then backs off. Doesn't commit. I do think maybe we could, but we're waiting for those Disruptors to recharge. Waiting for more Novas. Double drop moving towards the south. Getting eyes on the would-be 5th base of Indy. Indy, he still has momentum on his side. He has map control. He's pushing in. There is no vision here, so NoMercy doesn't know where the army is. Until now. We do catch NoMercy by surprise. Big swipes go off on those Marauders. Nova goes off as well. No! The splits are not there. Big connection. We take down the Widow Mines as well, and it looks like Indy has done it. At the same time, the 5th base is denied. Was that a kill? That was a kill, not a cancel. Oh, wait, no, sorry. That was a cancel, not a kill. As we go for another Nexus. We do have a couple of Zealots here to defend. It looks like we will force to pick up. We have 3 Novas in the chamber. Novas are going to be going up here. Oh, we do overextend with them. 3 Disruptors go down. But we can just keep on pushing again. We have 3 Colossi with this. And even if we pulled the boys, I don't know if we could survive. As we are breaking into the natural. Get plenty of Stalkers to deal with the Vikings. The boys are being pulled into Colossus Fire, and it looks like Indy has done it. He's going to be snowballing out of control. And looking to take that first game. Back across the map, we do have a lot of workers going down to this drop, but we have reinforcements coming in. We cleaned it up. Indy loses 20 probes across the map. GG gets called, and Indy will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Bobby. Indy looking good. Indy looking good here in that first game. To be fair, it was back and forth, right? It's like, even though towards the end, Indy was looking dominant, before that, there was that scary moment. There was that window. There was the window where Indy didn't have it. He had one Colossus. One Colossus, no other Robo units or no other disruptors, no additional Colossi. There was a moment there where he was very vulnerable, but NoMercy, it did feel like he missed his timing. He missed his opportunity, and once he missed it, from there, Indy got out of control. And now we're getting into game number 2. Game number 2. So we make our way here to determine, will it all end here, or can NoMercy fight back? I want to believe he can. I do want to believe he can. Again, NoMercy had such patient play early on, sniping bases, distracting his opponent, pulling him apart with his multi-pronged aggression. It was good stuff. It was good stuff out of NoMercy. But just barely was not enough. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate, we have the red Protoss player from the land of Poland. Usually a caster, but is going to be here rocking. What is this? The Super People Esports? Is that a meme? I need to look that up. Representing Super People Esports. That's okay. It is Indy. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Terran player from the land of Germany, representing Team Madalekos, or Madalekos Esports. It is NoMercy. And shout out to, I believe, Muppet in the chat was letting us know that Madalekos was playing in the bracket today, which is really cool to see. Again, Madalekos, fun fact, back in the day, he used to also cast our tournaments in German. Back in the day, like years and years ago, back when we hosted our amateur events. I'm talking about like Duckling Open and Master Swan Open, which was our Diamond and Masters tournaments respectively. Madalekos also used to join us when it comes to casting in a different language. I think that was back in the day, back in, what, 2020? 2020-ish, I want to say. Maybe 2019. At 2020, 2021. Yeah, good guy. Does a lot of content on YouTube as well. I think he still does his Maral dailies, I think. I think he still does that as well. But until then, we do see NoMercy once again going for a Rax expand. Last game, we saw an eBay block to kind of make things a little bit more uncomfortable for Indy. This game, no eBay block, and he's just going for the Rax expand. CC on the high ground, so a very, I was going to say, economic, but also a very safe variation here of this opener. Just one gas. So nothing too crazy, nothing too assertive from NoMercy. Meanwhile, back at home, Indy just going for a gate expand into the Cyber Core. Likewise, standard opener from our Protoss. See that. When does Light sleep? I did nap for an hour. I think in between ESL Asia, because we cast, for those that are tuning in now, we casted ESL Asia before this. We casted ESL Open Cup Asia, and then I slept for an hour, and then we're here. I'll be honest, I was really scared that I wasn't going to be able to wake up in time. I was really concerned that I would end up sleeping in, because I knew that I only had an hour to sleep. But I did end up sleeping an hour, and then we're up, we're awake, we're here. We are here. After ESL Open Cup Europe, we're going to be taking another break. I'm going to try to sleep for another hour or two, and then we're going to be live casting ESL Open Cup Americas. We'll be live with Americas. Americas is in, I think, 10 hours, or, not 10, sorry, like 7-ish hours, 7 hours from now. Should be 4 hours by the time we finish this tournament. So I will have a little bit of time to nap for our next cast. You know, one day I'm gonna be able to get a solid 8-hour sleep. Not today, though. Not today. Maybe I'll be honest. After ESL Open Cup Americas, I think I'm just gonna pass out for like a solo like 10-hour sleep. That sounds so good, Poppy. That sounds so good. But but can I though? I think I'm casting later on. Am I casting after? I'm checking. Well, we're getting into our openers. It is going to be a 1-1-1 opener here from NoMercy. Interesting variation, by the way. He is not going into Widowmine production. He's going straight into tank production instead. So very fast tank play here from NoMercy. It was a Stargate opener from Indy. Is going to be dipping in. Does confirm the tank, of course. Behind this Void Ray. Interesting. Very, very unorthodox by Indy. Void Rays are usually used defensively here in this matchup. And okay, it gets cancelled. Looks like he was a little bit afraid of a push, and I mean, for good reason. Now we see why we rushed into that tank. We're going for a very early timing here. Now, this is so early that there's no stim. These are vanilla Marines. No stim, no combat shields. We have a couple of boys to repair and throw down some bunkers. The real firepower here is the tank. The tank is the backbone of this army. We do push out. We do have Indy waiting on top of the ramp with a force field. He does have that sentry threatening the force field. And we're going to have to go the long way around. Oh! Yeah, we do have to pivot away here. Respect the sentry, respect the force field. And we will get up the ramp. The Viking! Viking does take a lot of damage. Phoenix is going to try to catch some of these reinforcements. And NoMercy does find his way up the ramp. The tank sieged up very far behind. We have to bring it forward. We do have to bring it forward here, closer towards that natural. We do have a couple of shield batteries finishing up 2 of them with the overcharge. Immortal is halfway done. And NoMercy, he sees the lack of third, and he backs off. He confirms that Indy hasn't been too greedy. It wasn't like a 2-gate into a third base. We are, yeah, staying on 2 bases instead. NoMercy respects it, he backs off. Wise choice. I do think that if he tried to break the natural base, he would have died trying. So Indy will hold. He's going to try and punish this. He picks off a Cyclone. Very nicely done. Force field's going to be thrown down as we catch a couple of SCVs and a couple of Marines. Not too bad. Decent force fields. Indy does have to be careful not to bleed out too much. Behind this, he did delay his third base in favor of a robotics bay and a third gateway. So again, very tech heavy here. Just delaying the third a little bit longer. Will now take it. But again, this the economy for Indy is going to be a little bit delayed in favor of faster Colossus production. Ooh, as we tech up even further, we throw down the Forge and the Twilight Council. Okay, we gonna be teching. Meanwhile, NoMercy back at home. What's important here is that he bled out Marines, yes, but he didn't lose his tanks. His tank count has been slowly building up here over time. And what's important is that we are on a 3-1-1 setup. We can actually commit here to 2-base play. We could build up to 3, 4, maybe 5 tanks and go for a big all-in. We scan, we get eyes on the third base. Indy is being very tech heavy as well. There is going to be a window here where NoMercy, again, he could try to kill Indy before he can get into the swing of things, before he can make use of all this tech and all these upgrades, as we have a massive gateway explosion. It's going to be that timing with Stim, +1, and combat shields, but +1 just now started. It's a ways away. We'll see. Basically, what we're looking for NoMercy is whether we throw down 2 more Raxes or a third CC. That'll tell us how economic or how aggressive he wants to be here at this point. As he's working on that 4th tank. Again, that tank count getting very high very quickly. Meanwhile, behind this, Indy, he's trying to catch some drops. He's going to be active here on the left-hand side, patrolling outside the dead space. Here we go. We are going to be pushing now. Indy has an observer in position. He sees the move out. He sees everything. He even follows it as well. And it looks like we are expanding behind it. 3rd CC is soon to be on the way, on location. So this is not an all-in, but this is still committed. If NoMercy doesn't trade well, then Indy can counterattack. Here we go. Indy even taking up towards the Templar Archives. NoMercy once again looking for another way in. This time we have 2 sentries, a lot of force fields. Tanks are sieging. Indy has to respect it. He backs off. Observer has been spotted, which means Indy is now in the dark. He doesn't know where the army is going. Oh god, almost gets juked. Good swipes on the tanks. Ooh, 1 sentry goes down. We are cutting that force field in half, or the amount of force fields in half. Phoenix is just trying to get within range, and oh, we're going to be punished for it. We got one Viking. We do get one Viking in the end. Again, remember, NoMercy, he's expanding. He is working on that next step. He doesn't have to, like, force the issue. But he can't lose this army. These tanks are so exposed. No, the tanks. The charge will take dive on top of the tanks here. Two of them go down. The other two as well. Ay, ay, ay. NoMercy caught with his pants down. Caught out of position. And with that, it looks like Indy, he will swallow up this army. There's not much that NoMercy can do from here. He tries to pick up, tries to get the hell out of here. But we have Phoenixes. And a Stalker warping as well. Medevac goes down. GG, well played gets called as NoMercy gets caught out and Indy takes the 2-0. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations to Indy as Indy does take down a pretty powerful opponent. NoMercy is no slouch. So very impressive here that Indy was able to bring him down to his knees. Congratulations as Indy advances on in the bracket. NoMercy does bow out in the first round. GG. And with that, we are going to be looking to... we are going to be going over the bracket here, and we're going to try and find another series. Also, shout out to D-Mega. D-Mega's in the chat. Bobby. Oh my god. D-Mega, he's a Peruvian Protoss player who went to Italy last year. I haven't seen him in so long. I want to say he's in the chat. He's in the in-game chat. He just said forever patos. Ah.